Hey everybody, this is Evan Rogers. I'm coming at you with a super exciting online live lessons video. This is still lesson number 3. We're doing past tense / complete distal verbs. If you remember, distal means that it's nice and polite. There's a social distance between you and the person you're talking about. And we are on the line with John and Kayla, our 2 students. You could easily join these lessons if you were to donate $5 a month at Patreon. As you might have noticed, we're doing pretty much 3 a week. My throat is scratchy apparently, except for when I need to cancel because something crazy is going on with the kids. So that's all it takes. You just join up 9:20 p.m. Eastern time, and that's it. In the meantime, enjoy what we do. Are you guys ready to go? We're doing grammar today. Great. So number 1, the wa particle. When it is a particle, it's pronounced as wa, despite it being a ha. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, you'll get used to it to the point that it becomes second nature. Unless you're John, because you still don't know hiragana. I was hoping for a little laugh there, but I guess I'm just not funny. All right, here we go. Next, we're talking about past and complete agglutination markers. Remember agglutination? Yes, I do. Yes. Great. Oh, okay. Is there something weird with the mute button or something?
We're muting, unmuting because the kids.
What, do you have to press a button?
Yeah, I have to press a button.
Okay. That's okay. They are at a different location than usual, and their child is very talkative. I'm sure he's adorable, though. I'm surprised he's still awake. It's 9:20, but I guess he doesn't have an option.
He always is awake. Always.
Yeah, okay. Well, past and complete agglutination markers for distal verbs. If the verb is positive, that means it's non-negative. We change the mas to mashta, so that s sound turns into a sh sound, and we add ta. Okay, so it's just mashta. We've already experienced this because I went on too far before explaining this. And if the verb is negative, we add deshta. So we will have the masen followed by deshta. Remember, the masen makes it negative. We'll learn soon that deshta is a separate word. You'll see it in situations completely unrelated to past tense verbs. Well, not really, but it's still past tense. However, we're now at the point where we can look at agglutination charts and actually understand what is going on. We're finally going to find places that are blank. Let's look at our new agglutination patterns. All right, so for example, if we have the verb mimas, to watch or to look or to see something, the stem, remember, that's the drop the mas part of the distal verb. It would be mi. And because we're trying to be distal, we're going to say mas. And because it's negative, we're going to add the n sound, masen, so mi masen. And then because it's past tense, it's going to be mi masen deshta. Cool. You guys are muted, so I know it's going to be a weird response time, but I hope that's exciting and you guys are... Yeah. I'm sure your minds are blown. Okay.
So that's like, I did not watch.
Yeah, I did not watch something. I didn't see something. I didn't look at something. Something like that, yeah. So whatever the subject would be, I did not, I'm being polite to you, watch. Yep. Okay? Oh, yeah. Mi masen deshita. I did not watch it. Cool. Ari, that's a stem for arimas. So there is something exists. Ma, because it's being polite. However, it's not negative. You see how the negative area is blank? But notice how the negative, it's not really still there, but do you see how the order stays the same? Stem, distal, negative, past. Stem, distal, negative, past. Just so we're skipping adding anything into this box of negativity. Does that make sense? It's like a box and we're just not putting our little marker in there.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. Ari, sorry. What's that, Kayla?
I had a question.
Yeah.
Yes, why wasn't it mas? Is it because there's no n, so the shta adds that s sound?
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was gonna talk about that. So the problem is just that in English, if I were to draw an S here, I mean there should be an S here. Honestly, there should. It's just that in English, when we add an H to it, it's not huta. It would change it to masta, right? Does that make sense? It's
Yeah.
like there should be an S, but it's just that's actually just a problem with the English. Maybe I'll put, I don't know. Should I put a parentheses there? I don't know how to explain that properly. The problem is actually English has an issue. S plus H, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the DE then.
How about I put the parentheses around this S and I leave the S here? How about that? What was the question? You said something about a DE?
The only time you need the deshta is if you have the negative marker.
Exactly. Because there's a negative, we have to have the deshta. Okay?
Otherwise, that's the shta.
Exactly. That's the tricky part. Oh, and look at me. I did not add the pronunciation here. Oops. Yeah, that's right. I have to be careful about that I there. I know, right? I know. It is there when you write hiragana, or sorry, romaji. Just this is the pronunciation. That's why there's no I there, because you're not actually pronouncing that I sound, the E sound there. All right, so ja arimashita. Arimashita translates to there was something, or it was there, something like that. Okay?
Yep.
All right, so now we have iki, go, mas, and then notice how I have the se there to prepare for the negativity. Mas is polite. Masen makes it negative. I will not go. I do not go. But however, now it's deshta. Iki masen deshta. I didn't go. He didn't go. Somebody didn't go. It could be somebody hasn't gone as well. Remember, this is just past. Whatever the action is, it is finished. That's what the complete tense means. That the going is done. Okay, so he didn't go. Sorry, go ahead.
You're missing the DE.
Yes, I am. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Good call. Am I missing any other ones before I continue on? Great. This is I made a lot of mistakes on this one. I'm embarrassed. How embarrassing.
How fair.
All right, next we have shime for to shut something, as in it's transitive. Shime mas, however, it's not really a mas, it's a mashita. Shime mashita. I shut the door, you shut the door. Or sorry, you. I don't know why I said it's negative, because it's not negative. You shut it. Shut it. Okay, shime mashita. You shut it. Okay, or he shut it, she shut it, whatever the subject might be. Okay. I'm sure that's okay. Great. And then akimas. I just straight up akimas. We don't put anything in these ones because we're saying it does open. Or it will open. It opens, it will open. Okay, great.
Got it.
That is how agglutination works in its full grandeur and splendor. The number of boxes will increase as we continue learning, okay? And eventually we're going to have really long box, just like a long list. Eventually we're just going to ignore them, but it'll be fun to see all of them put together. All right.
I'm already ignoring them. We're good.
Notice how the negative marker section is occasionally blank, or even the past marker for akimas. That's because we're not, quote unquote, putting anything into the box, because we don't want the word to be negative, and we don't want it to be, so we don't use the negative marker when we're forming the word. 4. We'll eventually learn how to keep the distal marker absent. Yeah, eventually we will leave this distal area absent. There is a way to do that, but that's going to be in the future. Okay. You're like, okay, why'd you bring it up, Evan? Also, notice that in these formations, at least, shta is pronounced shta with no strong E sound, right? It's not shita. You can pronounce the E, but it's usually not there. You will occasionally hear arimashita, but it's just really not usually there. Okay. Number 3, for Patreon and Subscribe Star donators, I have available a detailed explanation of ga. I just got a new Patreon for $1 a month. Sorry, I forget your name, guys. Sorry, I saw it on my phone earlier, and it's been a mad race with the kids. That being said, he gets access to this for only $1 a month. Okay, so we're talking about ga. We're talking about ga, wa, and o. Ga is a word particle. Remember we were talking about sentence ending particles? Well, now we have a particle that goes at the end of a word. Sorry, I cut you off there, John. Thanks for giving me the
No problem.
So it goes at the end of words. Most, not all, word particles go at the end of nouns, but again, it's not always. So we're going to go with word particles. Word, dog. Meaning it comes after a word instead of a sentence. Yeah, great. Awesome. Just like I just said. I love repeating myself. God does a few things and has a few requirements. Was that a question, or were you just laughing at my idiot joke?
That was my baby screaming.
All right, so it does a few things, but it has a few requirements. It comes after nouns. Very, very, very infrequently does this version of ga come after a verb. I would imagine that it actually never happens. It marks that noun, the noun that comes before the ga particle, as a subject. Remember how with agglutination, we're tacking stuff onto the end, thus it's agglutination? Notice how the particles also come at the end of whatever they modify. Okay? It's not really agglutination, but hopefully you can see there's a connection. The booties are aligned. Okay, it marks it as a subject, and then there's a little 5 marker, which we're going to say this statement is true most of the time under normal circumstances. It's 100% true if we're able to bend our minds properly. We'll see how this works later, though. We're going to eventually the ga is going to be confusing, but for now we're going to try to keep it simple. Not all.
Yeah, because it's not at all right.
Not all subjects are marked with ga, as we've seen. Because you don't have to actually make every single subject marked with a ga. In fact, sometimes that would be wrong. Okay, so ga does mark it as a subject, but there's a little bit more to it than that. It emphasizes that noun/subject. It emphasizes it. Well, John, I'm sure you're asking, what in the flaming bleep does he mean by emphasize? Well, in English, we best translate ga by changing our intonation. It's almost like we're answering a question. Who went to the store? I went to the store. That sort of, I went to the store. That intonation change is kind of what the ga particle is doing. If you're reading this only, there should be a video of me going over this somewhere. I've talked about ga, wa, and o before. So check out my YouTube channel for more ga, wa, whatever. Just search the channel. Evan's Easy Japanese, bald guy talks about ga, wa, o. You'll probably find it. Let's look at some examples. So, for example, if we just have mado akimashita, that would just mean the window opened. Mashita, past tense. Mado is the thing that akimashita. Remember, akimasu is an intransitive verb, thus there's no acting upon another object. If we add a ga, we're putting focus on the idea that it's a mado that opened. The window opened. It's almost like it's the answer to a question, what opened? And you're saying, mado ga akimashita. The window is what opened. Okay?
Yes.
So, I've mentioned this before with the wa particle. If this were a wa particle, it would be okay. It wouldn't be the answer to a question. We would never say, what opened? Mado wa akimashita. That would be odd. We'd expect something like, but something didn't open. Don't worry about that right now. If it were a wa particle, it would be putting the emphasis on akimashita. But with the ga particle, it's putting emphasis on the idea that we're focusing on the mado. With a wa particle, we'd be focusing on the akimashita. And without a particle, it's just a plain old boring sentence. So no particle here. Plain old, the door opened. Or sorry, window. The window opened. With a ga particle, the window opened. With a wa particle, the window opened. Hopefully that helps out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that helps me a lot.
It
I was always getting confused with those.
Yeah. No. Sorry, I kept talking over you, but it really helps to hear somebody intone the difference. I found, and everyone's like, "What's the difference between ga and wa?" Then everybody types like 9,000 pages, and you're like, "What does that even mean?" And you just got to hear it. There's a little bit more to the difference than wa and ga, like super subject and like clause subject, but we'll get into that when it arrives. All right, kami arimasu ka? Kami arimasu ka? Do you have a piece of paper, or is there paper nearby? Maybe you're at a store, like, is there any paper? Or you go into a store, do you have a piece of paper? Hey, John, at Rock'em Sock'em, does kami arimasu ka?
No.
We don't have paper.
Okay, that's fine. That's no problem. Okay, So this
Paper.
is just a basic sentence. Kami arimasu ka? Do you have paper? Notice because it's a question, we would really expect there to be a ga particle, but you don't need to put one there. However, if you were going to answer the question, you would probably put a ga particle there. You would say hi. Well, really, you just say hi arimasu, but you could say kami ga arimasu. I do have paper. There is paper. Paper, we got it. Now, if we add to this, now notice it's still a question. Kami ga arimasu ka? Do you have a piece of paper? Like, do you have a piece of paper? A piece of paper, is that what you have? Do you have a piece of paper? We're putting emphasis on the idea that we're looking for the paper. It's the paper that we're looking for. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not, yeah, so we're saying a piece of paper, do you have it? I'm not talking about the Cheetos. I'm talking about the piece of paper. Like, for example, it's like, what do you guys have at the store? It's like, oh, we got this, we got that, we got that, we got that. Well, do you have paper? Kami ga arimasu ka? Oh, yeah, arimasu yo. Okay?
Got it.
Notice how, even though I've translated the sentences properly and added emphasis, without me speaking, you're still not exactly sure what I mean. Sometimes it do be like that, though.
It's the whitest thing.
I want to see what this. Unfortunately, it's like that sometimes, though, is how I translated that. I hate myself. That's funny. The best way, I forgot I did that. The best way to translate ga to English is to think of it as though it's the answer to an open-ended question, just like I've been saying. Dore ga kimasu ka? Which one opens? Kore ga kimasu yo? This one opens. Now notice how this question, which one opens? The question is which one opens, not if it opens or closes. Thus, very infrequently, like super, like in the low single digit % of the time, will we find an interrogative, a question word followed by a wa particle. That will almost, not always, but that will almost never happen. Almost always, after a question word like dore or nani or dare, we will have a ga particle or no particle. You will almost never see dore wa akimasu ka? Because I'd be like, which one opens?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John, which one opens? The guy's having a stroke. You better get him to the doctor. All right. Dore ga shimarimashita ka? Which one shut or which one closed? Notice it's intransitive. It's not which one did you shut. Notice the ga particle. Are ga shimarimashita. That one over there is the one that closed. That's the one that closed. That one closed. Notice the emphasis is on that one, identifying the one that did close, not the fact that it closed. Unfortunately for us, that's the best explanation we'll get for now, at least in writing. If you were just reading this, it would be confusing. All right, it is already 9:45. We are going on to the O particle. Are you guys okay with time? I know you guys are.
We should be okay.
That's fine.
Okay, how about we just do this O, and then we'll call it for the night because I don't know what you guys are doing exactly, and I don't want to make you late to whatever party it might be. All right, so we just got done talking about the ga particle, and pretty much everything is going to be the same as the ga particle with the O particle, except instead of identifying the subject, we're identifying the direct object. Like, it puts the emphasis on the word before it. It's going to be used in answering questions. It's going to be used after question words like dore and dare and nani or whatever like that. It's just that we're going to be talking about direct objects, okay?
Got it.
The word particle O is very similar to ga, just like I said. However, it is put after direct objects, just like I said. Pretty much everything I wrote for ga can be applied to O, but replace subject with direct object. Doa akimashita ka? She opened the door. Oh, sorry, I added ka. I'm apparently not able to read Japanese. Doa akimashita. She opened the door. Doa wa akimashita. She opened the door. That's what she opened. The thing that she opened is the door.
Got it.
Sore tabemasu ka? Are you going to eat that? Are you going to eat that? Will you eat that? Or maybe even do you eat that? Like the guy's holding a squid and he's like, oh, I'm going to eat it. And you're like, oh my God, you didn't even cook it, bro. Are you going to eat that? Do you eat that? If we had the sore o tabemasu ka? Are you going to eat that? Now, in English, this sounds a little bit odd. Are you going to eat that? Like, that's the thing you're going to eat? But be aware that this is not in any way, shape, or form a weird question in Japanese. This is sort of tabemasu ka. This is like textbook Japanese. The problem is that sometimes textbook Japanese sounds weird. Like if you literally speak like you're out of a Genki. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Genki, but if you do most textbooks and you talk like that, people will assume you are a robot. Before, they're gonna be like, "Are you Mark Zuckerberg? Is that what you're gonna eat?" That I'm trying to say this without making it sound like you're utterly disgusted by what they're about to eat. But like, imagine the kids or your kid is at the ice cream store and they're trying to pick flavors and they choose, I don't know, mango, and you're like, "Oh, is that what you're gonna eat? Is that what you're gonna eat?" Like, as opposed to the other ones, that's the one that you're going to eat. You're going to eat that one. You're going to eat the mango. Sort of tabemasu ka? And then like, okay. Then again, if it's your son, you'd be using distal form. You'd be like, sort of tabemasu. I'm just joking. You wouldn't be that.
Yeah, because we wouldn't be polite to our son.
Real nice.
You have to have a social distance between your son, like you don't know him well enough. Who are you, my son? All right. Again, typing the difference doesn't help us understand the emphasis. But just with ga, it's easier to think of it as the answer to an open-ended question. Dore tsukaimashita ka? Which one did you use? Are o tsukaimashita. I used that one over there. Dore o yomimashita ka? Which one did perhaps he read? Sore o yomimashita. Sore o yomimashita. He read that one. That is the one that he read. The one over there. So this is like that one. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. O particle puts emphasis on what comes before it. Now this is the part that might trick Kayla up. We could put a wa particle here and it would change its emphasis. And we're going to see that in the next one, okay? Wa can replace o and it can replace ga. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. We'll call it there. Have yourselves a great night. Good luck with the jogging for your mother.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, see you guys.
See
Bye-bye.
you later.
If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you like, subscribe, and share this video to everybody you know and yell at them repeatedly until they subscribe as well. If you'd like to support me even more, head on over to patreon.com, where for just $1 a month, 3 cents a day, that's it, it's darn near free, you can help me financially keep these videos coming. And as a reward for your Patreon donations, you get access to all of the miscellaneous things that I produce to help out my own students who I teach in person, and also just things that I make for myself. And if you want a little bit more bang for your buck, head on over to Teespring, where you can get lots of fun clothing, mugs, stickers, cell phone cases, all that I've designed. More designs to come. I hope you have yourself a happy dappy day. Peace out.